Welcome to the Downtown, brought to you by Arlington Citizen Media. I am Rody John, and this week we talked to Ezekiel Ajeigbe about how he got into acting, growing up in Arlington, and his plans for the future. This is a great conversation I had with Ezekiel. He is doing so many great things out in Hollywood. He's on so many shows. I could name them all, but why would I? Just go look him up on IMDb. It is a good dude. He's doing great things. He's writing, he's producing, he's going to be directing. This is just a fun conversation. And if you love film, this is a great conversation as well. Also on the show, we hear local music from Anna Weber with her live performance of I'm Ready. But to kick us off, here is Extraordinary Life from KNETX. With Ezekiel Ajeigbe. He is a Arlington native, and he is out in LA pursuing his dream of being an actor. How are you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Yeah, I've seen so much stuff written up about you, and a lot of people in Arlington are very excited about what you've been doing and what you're going to be doing in the future. But let's go back to the very beginning. What is your earliest memory of acting?
My earliest memory of acting, I would say that has to be back in, I want to say 2014. I started my journey in 2014. There was a director actually in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex by the name of Fred T. The very, very first project I ever did was on one of his sets. I believe it was like a movie called Meeting the Folks, but I was just like an extra. I wasn't even a main character or anything like that. But like that was my very first like experience as an actor on an actual set for me.
So that once you got on the set, you were like, okay, never mind. This is it. This is what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, it was actually way before then. I believe I was like 7 or 8. I was watching. I grew up watching like actors like Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Denzel Washington, Eddie Murphy, Leonardo DiCaprio, et cetera, et cetera. And like as a kid, I used to always think, oh well, they're all adults, so you must have to be an adult to be an actor. But it wasn't until I started watching things like the series on Nickelodeon called All That, as well as like Kenan and Kel. I was thinking, wow, these guys are kids. Like if they're kids and they're doing it, maybe I could do it too. So after I saw younger people on TV as well, I was like, okay, this is something I really want to do, and I made a promise to myself at 7 or 8 saying I want to be on TV. Like this is something I'm going to do. So fast forward to the Fred T story. When I turned 18 of legal age to just do it on my own, I just literally started doing it on my own.
So it's amazing to see. I love the fact that Kenan Thompson was one of the people that really inspired you early, and now he's still killing it on SNL. Like the fact that his like longevity in this realm of art, because essentially he's an improv comedian, and he's still killing it on there, and then also having that hit television show as well. Like what a great person to really have gotten you in to wanting to be in the business, and him still having this longevity of his career.
I agree.
Have you had a chance to cross paths with him at any point yet?
No, not yet. I haven't met Kenan in person yet, or been on any sets with him there. But I guess the closest connection, I'm not sure if he was on Jimmy Kimmel at any point, but the closest connection I would say would probably have been like when I did a Jimmy Kimmel special back in like I believe this was like 2021, December of 2021. I again wasn't one of the main characters, but I was blessed enough to be on set with Viola Davis. Who else was there? It was Viola Davis, Jamie Foxx's daughter. I forgot her name. One of the guys from This Is Us, one of the kids there from This Is Us, as well as what is the lady's name in she's a funny comedian. Her name is oh my gosh, it's like slipping my tongue right now. She was on the movie Girls Trip. Tiffany Haddish. There we go. Tiffany Haddish. She was also there on
Tiffany
set.
Haddish, yeah.
Yeah, Tiffany Haddish. She was also there on set. So like, it was cool to meet everybody, as well as John Amos. John Amos, I did get to speak with him and get some, some advice and some words of wisdom from a vet actor who's been in a lot of things. And yeah, man, it was just great watching them do their thing, because it was almost like, because I was there for like some of the rehearsals as well as the of course main performance. And just watching them rehearse, man, it was like literally a live master class that I was getting for free. Well, I was actually getting paid to be there, but I'm getting this master class that I essentially didn't have to pay for, just watching these great actors do their thing, and it was amazing. So yeah, man.
What did you pick up from watching all of them? I guess so individually, and then also like kind of collaborating with each other, because obviously everybody has a different style when it comes to preparation or delivery or how they are on set as opposed to whenever they're off set. Like what are some things you picked up from that experience?
Yes, I would say watching them, especially Viola, man, I was like, yo, I gotta get to her level, because even during the rehearsal, like she didn't even have a script in her hand. Like she was completely off book, like ready to go, ready to play. And while all the other actors, they still had their scripts, they still knew their lines, but they still had a script in hand just in case, which is nothing wrong with that. But with Viola, she was like no script in hand, just already in character, ready during the rehearsals. And I was like, okay, now I see where the bar is set, and then that's the bar I need to reach or surpass, So it was really inspiring to just watch that and really soak that in.
Yeah, I imagine watching, people on that level. It's just, like you said, a complete masterclass that you just were lucky enough to also get paid to be a part of and just kind of be a fly on the wall. I imagine that was
Mhm.
just life changing.
Yes, indeed it was.
So you also model and you produce as well. How did those kind of come into the equation?
Yes, so modeling, I want to say, came into play kind of around the same time as acting, because I remember like I was doing something on some set, and someone was like, you should get into modeling. You have a good look, and I was like, I mean, I really want to act, and they're like, well, you never know, like you can be modeling, and somebody can see you and be like, oh, what do you really want to do? And then you tell them you're an actor, and then you get your start there, because they were like giving me examples like of Channing Tatum, like they said he used to be a model, and then eventually, after he broke into modeling and got some recognition, then he broke into acting, which is what he really wanted to do. And they were like, just give me different examples of like that, of people who made it via modeling. So I was like, okay, it doesn't hurt to have two avenues of entertainment in play. So I got into modeling around the same time as acting, which was I want to say summer of 2014. And as far as producing goes, I want to say the first time I really ever produced something was 2016. And the only reason that I took under that hat, that I started wearing that hat, was because there was somebody who didn't show up to set. Like I think the videographer didn't show up to set. And so I was like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? And I think at the time, like that's when like an article came out that there was this movie director who like shot a whole movie on his phone or whatever. And so like the director on set was like, let's just shoot it on our phone. Does anybody know how to work a camera? And I was like, I mean, I do, because back then, I was a viner. I used to make Vine videos and like social media videos and stuff like that. So I was like, I mean, I can work a camera. So like we literally shot the whole short film on my phone, and then I edited it, put it together, and put it out there, and it was actually a lot better than most of us were anticipating it to be, with the angles and everything. So fast forward to, I want to say, let's say 2019, 2020, during the pandemic and everything like that. It didn't dawn on me to actually like really, really be serious as a producer and make my own content, until, no, I take it back. Let's say 2018. 2018, it didn't dawn on me to like really start making my own content and producing until I believe my team at the time, I'm still with them actually, they told me in a meeting that they didn't know what to do with me, right? Because they were like, you're so versatile, like we really don't know like how to like pitch you, replace you in certain rooms. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'll take it upon myself to like start creating, just to give you a visualization of who I could be, who I could play, what I could do, et cetera, et cetera. So I believe in 2018 I started producing what I call creative concepts, which is basically conceptual photos of me modeling, as well as video segments of me acting in those same creative concepts, just giving them a visual representation of Ezekiel Ajeigbe as different characters, different people, different storylines. So I believe at the time, when I was posting on Instagram those creative concepts that I was coming up with, it was basically, I started it out with a slide format. So like as you swipe, the story will reveal itself through pictures. But then I realized, okay, my audience may not be as inclined to understand, okay, he's telling a story via picture. So then that's when I started adding the video segment to the stories. And essentially it was basically like short film teasers, once the video segments came into play. And somebody came up to me and was like, yo, Ezekiel, you can actually make these into like films or actual projects, or pitch this to something, because this is actually really good stuff. And I was like, oh, really? Because I didn't think anything was going to come of it. Like, it all just started with me just trying to show my team, yo, this is what I can do. This is who I can be. And then it turned into me actually being a producer and actually producing these things. I'm like shelling out money, just paying a videographer, paying a photographer, et cetera, just to, get the project underway, and hiring, talent, of course. So yeah, I kind of just fell into it, not even realizing that was what I was doing. That's what I was doing. So yeah.
So you essentially just made your own opportunities and your own, I guess, sizzle reel, because of the fact that Which the fact that you said that your team thought that you're too versatile and they don't know how to pitch you sounds like the most bizarre thing and the most backwards thing I've ever heard. Because if you're that versatile, you could be pitched in every single direction. But I mean, I understand like the film industry is definitely like one of those. Not that they want you to be one thing, but I guess until you realize that you can be everything, you almost have to get in one way until you can break out and be everything.
Exactly. And I think that's what they were getting at. They were like, well, you mean you're new to them, so like we can't just say that you can do everything because everybody tells them that, you know. But we have to like show them one thing and then go from there. So yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, as you saw with the Oscars this past weekend, Brendan Fraser, who started out actually in pretty serious roles and then went into the comedy side and then just kind of not disappeared, but kind of went, you know, a little more non-mainstream for a little while, and then he came back in this gigantic role. And then we've seen in years past where you have an Adam Sandler who came in as just this goofy comedy guy until you get a, you know, Punch Drunk Love and then, you know, everything else that had come from there. So it is just a fun world, I guess, to live in until you can truly show that you can do everything.
Exactly. Yes, sir. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I read in an interview where someone asked your top 3 filmmakers or directors that you'd like to work with, and you separated the two when it came to filmmakers and directors. Can you tell us what the difference between the two is?
Yes. So in a way, they're sort of kind of similar. But in my head, I could be totally wrong. This is just how I think. In my head, you know, directors, as far as like what I've experienced and what I've seen on sets, is like directors, they're the ones who are going to like direct you on how the story is going to be, I guess, told to the audience who watches it. So they're going to like say, okay, hey, we need you to be more, let's be more menacing here. And then at the end, like give a sly smile, you know, something like that versus, you know, filmmakers, it's more so their job to really create the entire film. So like, for example, like a filmmaker can also be a director, which most of them are, because they already have the vision in their head. And it's like the project is something that they want to bring to life. And so they're creating this entire world for the audience to then experience once they watch it. I feel like filmmakers are more so the people who started from scratch, and build it all the way up. Whereas directors, you know, it's something already built and they're the ones kind of guiding the puzzle pieces together to make the final product of the filmmaker's vision come to life.
Right. Yeah. The world builders as opposed to, let's say, a pilot or a captain of a ship or something.
Yes, exactly. Yes. That's the way I see it. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but in my head, that is the way, that I see it.
No, that's a wonderful way of looking at it because, like you said, there are so many people that are filmmakers, and then on the other side of it, there are people that are directors. They just happen to get lumped into the same kind of title because one is doing both of them, but one of them is only doing one of them. So
exactly. Yes, that's very true.
So you grew up in Arlington. What are some of your favorite memories about growing up here in Arlington?
Favorite memories. I would say summer times, man, because summer times I would always you're out of school for one, so like you get to hang out with all your friends, and I was always going to Six Flags in Hurricane Harbor. Like every summer, I had a season pass, and so like me and my friends would literally just go to Hurricane Harbor, and then go to Six Flags first, and then go literally across the street to Hurricane Harbor, and then like just try to pick up new girls or whatever, like, you know, that whole stage, you know, teenage boy life, just being kids, man. But yeah, my favorite memories would be those two during the summertime as a kid.
How often do you make it back here?
Usually for holidays. I'm usually there for holidays or maybe like a special like family event or or different events that, let's say, a close friend of mine will be having. So like if somebody was getting married, you know, and they're still out there, then I'll, you know, make a trip and fly out. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm usually in LA, or if I'm filming somewhere else out of state or out of country, then I'm not in LA.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So what is, whenever you make it back here, what is some things that kind of, not surprise you, but you're just like, wow, Arlington is, I mean, because obviously it's not done growing. It's going to continue to grow for years and years. What kind of takes you aback whenever you come by or come back and you're like, man, this place is different?
Yes. So for one, I remember the last time I came back was I want to say this past Thanksgiving, and I noticed a lot of the highways, especially 360, like it's really getting built up. Like, cause I remember back in like probably like 2010, that's when like the Arlington council or whatever proposed that, oh, we're actually going to extend 360 or something like that. I think I was hearing about it in 2010. And then next thing you know, like fast forward 2022, I'm like, whoa, okay, this highway is not what it used to be back when I lived here. Okay. Like it's a lot bigger. Of course, you still got construction going on in some areas, like trying to make it even bigger, but it's very interesting. And there's a lot of buildings that weren't there before I left Texas that are now built up in there. And I see like new communities popping up. I'm not sure as new schools yet, but a lot of new neighborhoods, new communities, new shopping centers. Just a lot of new buildings and in totality. It's crazy.
Yeah, so this might blow you away, but 30 and 360 are actually close to being done to where you could stay on both highways without having to get off to get on the other one.
Wow.
Right?
That's crazy.
Like something that should have been done years ago is just now almost being done. Yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah. It's a pain in the ass to drive around right now, but it will be a lot better, I want to say, within the next, I think they should be done by the end of this year, if not, I don't think summertime, but end of this year for sure.
Nice. That is very convenient.
Exactly. Yeah, so exactly. Something that should have been done years ago, I think, but.
Literally, because they've been talking about it for years.
Way above my pay grade, so I don't, they don't console me on this.
Right. Likewise.
Now, it's hard to talk about, I guess, the world and acting in general without talking about the pandemic a little bit. So what struggles did you see during the pandemic versus now, and how have things changed in the industry before and after?
Yes. So during the pandemic, right before the pandemic happened, I want to say around like February, like early to mid-February, I remember a lot of productions were saying, we don't know what's going to happen, and we're just going to see. We're going to wait to hear from, like, you know, I guess the city, the mayor, the government, whatever, you know, sources they were listening to at the time, before we decide to, like, shut things down or whatever. And, like, one by one, you know, I'm getting phone calls from a friend saying, yo, bro, I'm on this show, and they're saying they're shutting down, but they don't know for how long. They're saying, like, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then we'll be back, but we'll see what happens. I'm like, dang, bro, I'm sorry to hear that, because, you know, a lot of my friends who are also in the business, they're either like actively working on a movie, studio movie, or like a TV network show. And it was interesting to hear, because even for me, I remember I was working at the time, I was doing like a mini series for I believe like USC. Like I just wanted to like work with some of the USC students, because, you know, a lot of times the directors and filmmakers who come out of there go off to do like really, really great things in the business. So I was really just trying to, you know, make connections, and also like, you know, work with somebody who has a really creative mind, and possibly have like a partner, almost like a Ryan Coogler to Michael B. Jordan kind of partnership. And so, yeah, I was working on a miniseries, and in middle of the miniseries, they said, hey guys, we may have to like stop for a while, before we can understand what's actually going on with the state of the world. So we stopped, you know, for a couple of weeks. They're saying, 2 weeks we'll be back into filming and everything like that. And 2 weeks go by. I get a follow-up email saying, hey, we're actually going to have to shut down for the rest of the series. And I'm like, what? Like, we're not even done filming the rest of the episodes. Like, what's going on? And then that's when the whole pandemic hit, and all of the industry shut down. So like a lot of talent, a lot of actors, literally were like, we're doing nothing. All the creators were doing nothing. And I think that's when TikTok came into play, and most creators went flooding into TikTok and started making TikToks and, you know, doing all that kind of stuff. But, I do know, and I would say there towards, I want to say July of 2020, productions, not a lot of productions were coming back, but like major productions were coming back. So, cause I know, the Macbeth movie with Denzel, that was being filmed at the time, July of 2020. Because of course it's Denzel. And I think there was another one, Babylon. Babylon was also being filmed, I believe, that same August. And I only know that because at the time I was still doing like extra work and stuff just to like pay bills and whatnot. And I got an email saying, hey, would you like to be an extra in this movie or this movie and stuff like that. So like the really big productions, they still were filming, but you had to like be in the know to know that. But of course there were like a lot of COVID restrictions and, you know, the social distancing, and you have to like wear masks on set. And there were like only 2 people to a lunch table type of deal. It was crazy. But yeah, man, I don't think, things really picked back up for everyone, back to quote unquote norm, whatever that really means, until I want to say maybe like early to mid 2022. That's when a lot of productions started coming back and just implementing social distancing and COVID health and safety measures and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting to still look at some movies that, let's say, came out last year, but obviously they were filmed over a year beforehand, and you're still seeing behind the scenes footage of it, and everyone's still wearing masks. And of course,
Right.
You're seeing it now, and you're like, yeah, in your head, you're like, why are they still wearing masks? But you have to think, oh, that was probably over a year ago where it was still a very big thing to wear masks and just to be safe for everyone around you in the space.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, you're part of the SAG union. When did you join, and what do you wish the union did more of?
Yes. So I believe I joined the union, I want to say in 2019.
Okay.
I've been eligible for some time, but I think I officially joined in 2019 because there was a show I did, that kind of forced my hand into a must join situation, which basically, like, if you do not join, you cannot work on this project.
Wow.
So yeah, so I had like the weekend to join, I believe. I think it was when I did Field Team on CBS. And yeah, so I joined and became part of the union. As far as like what I wish the union would do more of, that's a tough question. I don't know, because as of now, I mean, so far, like I feel like I've been taken care of by the union when it comes to like rules and regulations on sets, and even just as a member and the things that they offer to members, like discounts, rates and different deals and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. That's a really tough question to answer, because I really don't know what I would wish they could do more of. But I guess if I can make something up off the top of my head, maybe I wish they could have maybe like some kind of event that directly connects talent with filmmakers. That I think that'll be a cool thing, you know, to connect talent with filmmakers, or have one union cross over to another union and have like a networking kind of event. So like the SAG union with the Writers Guild or the Directors Guild, you know, meet up and do some kind of intermingling, you know. Maybe they already do that and I just don't know about it. Who knows?
You're just not getting those emails, basically.
Right, maybe.
Maybe you also have to join the other ones to do that, so that way you can actually make all that happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I read that you said, in life, I believe we're all meant to do what we love and love what we do. Both work hand in hand regardless of your field of work. What do you love most about acting?
What do I love most about acting? I would honestly say I love the ability to bring a story to life that has
Mm.
potential to really touch someone who's watching it. Because I think I really got into this business because one, I want to tell multiple stories, and two, I think, stories similar to like the pursuit of happiness. It's like
Right.
when someone watches that and they see someone go through so much adversity and yet, not give up and still, make it in the end. It's like that really can move a person. And I think a lot of the real stories that I really want to tell, are the ones that have the ability to move someone, and really change the direction or change, somebody's like situation in their personal life. Cause a lot of times, just being a, average person who watches movies or TV shows, a lot of people relate to some of these characters and can, lo and behold, be going through some of the same things the characters are going through. So who's to say that, somebody watching me won't be able to say, man, if the guy who played Chris in this, can do it, maybe I can too, just, kind of like a motivation, positive outlook on people and when they watch certain films and such.
Yeah, it's true. Because I mean, even at sporting events, like I've been to more Ranger games than I could think of, and there's so many times they have that montage of all the motivational speeches of like that they've all made into this giant montage. I mean, I can
Mhm.
guarantee they're on YouTube as well, where you can just watch them. And like you said, you're hyped. You're ready to run through a wall. Or there are moments that, whether it be commercials, TV, movies, even longer form, where certain scenes will just make you cry or make you
Mhm.
laugh so hard at the dumbest things. And
Right.
like you said, that's what it's all about, is giving people those moments, those feelings, and those, like, allowing them to feel those emotions.
Right.
What do you like seeing in the industry now, and what would you like to see more of?
What do I like seeing in the industry now, and what would I like to see more of? That's another good question. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of inclusion,
Hmm.
which has been something I've been seeing. I want to say over the past like 3-ish years. A lot more inclusion as far as like including minorities and things of that nature. But I would like to see even more inclusion because I also have noticed, even on some sets, that they may not have a hair person or makeup person that knows how to handle a person who is a minority. Like they may not know how to handle their hair or how to handle their makeup, and this has been like an ongoing thing that a lot of people in the business who are minority or who have darker skin or different texture hair have been like talking about and I have been frustrated about, because it's like now I'm going to work in an environment where they don't even know how to properly take care of me for me to do my job efficiently. So I've literally heard stories of some of my peers and coworkers going to work and having to do their own makeup before they get there, their own hair before they get there, because
Oh,
the hair lady or the makeup person doesn't know how to properly handle them. So like I would like to see more inclusion even on the production side of things, having people who are also minorities or just people who have the knowledge on how to properly, handle minorities, whether they're Hispanic, Latino, Asian, Black, whatever the case may be. So yeah.
yeah, it is interesting to think about, because I mean, I'm sure, a lot of people just don't think about those kind of things when it comes to, I mean, I've heard about it when it comes to, African American makeup, when it comes to photographers, or how some photographers just don't know how to shoot African American people because of the fact certain shadows or the way the light will hit or the way things will reflect or not reflect. And makeup is the same way. Like if you are in that industry, you need to, I mean, everybody in every industry, if that's what you want to do for the rest of your life, you need to learn and continue to learn every day to be the best or strive to be better than you were yesterday or 5 minutes ago or whatever, so that whenever you get into a situation where some people may not think, oh, this person probably doesn't know how to do my makeup or my hair. It's like, oh, nope, I do. Let me come on over here and I'll show you how it's done.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Now, I read that so you're from a Nigerian family, and
Yeah.
I heard that your family was not exactly wanting you to get into the acting world. How are they feeling now that you've had this success and had this, a little bit of longevity when it comes to being in the acting world?
Yes. So if anybody who's listening to this, who is familiar with Nigerians or just any, minorities any immigrants who come to this country and, have children, such like it's always the same story. Like everybody, they want their children to either be a doctor, a lawyer, engineer. That's why you see a lot of Arabs or Indian people, going for those careers, or you see Asians going for those careers, or even Nigerians going for those careers, because that's literally what they teach us, and they like breed us to only want to do those three things. And sometimes a pilot or a nurse, maybe. With what I'm saying is like, back then when I told them that I wanted to be an actor, man, it was like, that was one of the hardest things I had to do in my life. One of the hardest things I had to do in my life was to tell my parents the truth of what I really wanted to do with my life, which was act. And I think at the time I brought my girlfriend at the time, with me, just so she can witness how my parents were when it came to me wanting to follow my dreams and do what I want in my life. And my little sister was also in the room. So I have two witnesses who can attest to everything that I'm saying. Man, it was crazy. Like I remember specifically before I even walked up to my parents' room, it was like during like a Christmas break from college or something like that. Around December time, I told my girl, I was like, yo, listen, as soon as we walk in there, the first thing they're going to say is, how's school? And lo and behold, as soon as we walked in there, the first thing that came out of my mom's mouth was, how is school? And I looked at my girl and I was like, I told you they're going to say that. So like in that moment, that was the very moment where I had to make a choice. I was either going to lie and casually, go about, my regular motions and say, oh yeah, school's good. Oh, it's school, I'm just studying and, go that route. Or should I tell them the truth and be like, I'm not really feeling school. Like I'm not doing what I want to do. Like I want to be this, I want to do that, I want to chase, this and that. And so in that moment, I made a decision. I was like, you know what, I'm going to tell them the truth. Like this is what I want to do. And so I told them, yo, school's okay. I'm not really feeling it right now. They're like, what do you mean? Because I was studying electrical engineering and technology.
Right.
In those classes, it's not that I couldn't do it. It's that my passion and my heart was not in it. And I knew at an early age, I didn't want to waste my time doing something that I knew I would never actually enjoy doing with my life. And so, in a lot of the engineering courses, I would always kind of just be like going through the motions, man. Like I felt like a zombie. I'm not going to lie to you. I felt like a zombie. But then when I would leave campus to go do an acting, gig or a modeling shoot, I would literally come alive. And there was a huge differentiation between me on set versus me doing it, being an engineer. And so like when I realized that, I was like, yo, I got to tell my parents the truth. So back to the story, I was telling them the truth. It turned into like a huge like argument. They were saying things like, oh, you'll never make it. You want to disgrace the family. What is wrong with you? Ezekiel, please. You want us to be happy. We need you to focus on your books, focus on your studies, saying all this stuff. And then next thing you know, they're like, you will never make it.
in fact, we will not support you because what are you want to waste your life, saying all this stuff. And I'm like, God, I'm telling you, I can do it. And at the time, mind you, I had 2 commercials already running on TV. Like, already had 2 commercials on TV at the time when I'm telling them this. And I'm hoping, they're going to see some success, so maybe they're going to be more lenient. No, not at all. Not at all. So fast forward, my mom, I think at the end of the conversation, she was like, you know what? We don't even want to see you. Just grab your things and go. I didn't mind it because I already had my own place anyways, and I just came there to grab some clothes. And so, I grabbed my stuff. I left. My girl was trying to comfort me. My girl at the time was trying to comfort me, and I was like, it's cool. I know, because I knew in the back of my head that even though they said those things, it was coming from a place of love, because the way they were brought up and the way that they were raised is that you go to school, get a job, start a family, have kids, et cetera, et cetera. And they couldn't see success in the lens of doing something creative, because the way they grew up is like creative people, that's just a hobby. That's just something you do for fun. Like, if you really want to have a good life and make money and be successful, you have to do one of these 3 things, and so that's all they knew, which is what they were trying to tell me. But because I knew there was more to life than just being an engineer, doctor, or lawyer, I decided to just, take a risk and go after what I really wanted to do. And fast forward to now, I can gladly say that they do support me. They really are proud of me and the man I've become and what I'm doing with my career and everything like that. I have my mom calling me like all the time saying, "Hey, and support you with." I'm like, man, this is love. I really appreciate it. So yeah, it took some years before they actually bounced back, but yeah, they're in my corner now. They're in my corner.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard so many stories about, like you said, minority families or immigrant families coming over, and like almost stories verbatim as to what you just said. How they were like, you're out of the family, you just want to, basically giving you the guilt trip, but then they're secretly supporting you. They're secretly your number 1 fan. And then when they come around again, you'll find out like that they have like all your clippings or all your magazine articles or anything that you've ever done, like in a box somewhere. And you're like, the whole time, and
right.
They were just making sure that you were on the right path and making sure you're doing the right thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's love, but it's like that weird, tough, distant love.
That weird, tough love,
Yeah. So I want to thank you for using Twitter as a positivity platform. You don't use it as like a time capsule of your everyday goings on, but instead you put out positive messages that lift people up and messages that people can relate to. And I just want to thank you for doing that, because so many times we see people who use social media as, I'm doing this right now, I'm eating this, or this is my workout that I just did. I mean, I can't say I'm not guilty of some of those things, but the way you use it as, these are either stories that have happened to you or something that happened to you in your life that triggered you to write a absolutely wonderful and positive message that other people can read no matter what time of day, no matter where they are in their life, what they're doing, and they're like, damn, yes, this is what's up. I can get behind this.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that wholeheartedly, because I realized, I want to say back in 2017 that because nobody's promised tomorrow, with what I do, I at least want to live. I at least want to leave a legacy or something behind that people can like see, read, watch, hold on to, and it can help them in some capacity. So in the past, I used to, instead of writing the quotes that I write on Twitter now, I used to like post in my stories, like maybe on my Instagram story, about, something along the lines of, people would call them motivational messages or motivational speeches, but I wouldn't really see them as motivational. Maybe it's because I'm the one doing them. It's more so me just sharing knowledge of
of either something that I've learned, something that I've read, or something that just popped into my head. Because a lot of the times, believe it or not, a lot of the quotes that I write on Twitter now, I literally will wake up, and then like I'll just have like a random thought pop into my head. I'm like, that's very interesting. I need to tweet this, and then I'll tweet it, and then like I'll either get a response or I don't get a response. But at the end of the day, I don't really care whether I get a response because I know somebody somewhere is gonna read it, see it, and it probably needs it, you know. So yeah, man, I really appreciate you saying that because I've been doing it for so long, and I'm thinking, is anybody getting this? Is anybody receiving any of these messages? So yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
So I do the same thing on my Instagram and also my Twitter. I have a whiteboard at the house that every day I will put the date on there. Sometimes I do mess the dates up, but I always write a motivational quote, and I have the same thought sometimes that, is anybody actually looking at these things, or anybody actually like reacting? And then randomly I'll get somebody's like, I love your whiteboard. I love that you do this every day. I look forward to it. I'm just like, well, I guess I can't stop doing it now. Like, so,
good.
but again, you're putting out positive affirmations and thoughts that people need it all the time. Again, no matter who you are, where you are in life, there has been this wave of negativity when it comes to social media that people love getting caught in and drowning in, that every once in a while they need that lifeline of things aren't as bad as you think they are. Yeah, they might be bad now, but they're not going to be bad. And as long as you're learning from whatever your bad thing you're going through now, your future is going to be better and brighter because of it.
Yes, you're exactly right, man. Exactly right.
Now, we have a segment on the show called Tournament of Toppings. We're trying to find the best pizza place. I know you don't live out here anymore, but what is your favorite pizza place out in L.A.?
Pizza place out in L.A. I would say I love going to Sage Plant Bistro, solely because, one, I'm kind of like vegan vegetarian now, and so I would try to find something that works with my diet. But let me tell you, even if you are vegan, vegetarian, or just a regular, you just eat anything and everything, Sage Plant-Based Bistro has the best. It may sound weird, it may sound crazy, but I kid you not, I literally brought one of my friends who doesn't even care for plant-based meals, to Sage for my birthday, this past weekend. And I gave him, my friend gave him a slice of her pizza. I was not going to share my pizza, but we have the same pizza, and it was the eggplant artichoke eggplant pizza, and like I don't know how they make it or the ingredients they use. One, they have their own farm, so everything is farmed in-house, or on land, and then they bring the ingredients in-house and make it. And oh my goodness, like I kid you not, after he took one bite, he was like, "What in the world? What is this? What am I eating?" And I was like, "It's a pizza." He was like, "I've never had a pizza that tastes so good." And I was like, "Bro, I'm telling you, like this plant-based stuff it can change your life." Oh man, I would highly recommend Sage and tell him Ezekiel sent you an artichoke eggplant pizza from Sage Plant-Based Bistro in LA.
Well, I'll be in LA at the end of the month, so I will definitely have to swing by there. I know my buddy's not plant-based, but if you're swearing by it, I'm pretty sure I can swing him to get it as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm telling you, you will not regret it.
Good. Now, if people wanted, or happy belated birthday, by the way. I heard you slide in. It was your birthday this past weekend, so happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
No problem. If people wanted to find out more about you, watch your movies, watch your shows, follow your career, see you online, how can they do all the things?
Yes. They can follow me on Instagram at @I am_Ezekiel Ajeigbe, or probably go to my website, EzekielAjeigbe.com, or possibly just punch in my name in Google, and I guess you can find some stuff on me. Ezekiel Ajeigbe, yeah.
Well, perfect. Thank you so much, Ezekiel. I can't wait to see you pop up everywhere in Hollywood and beyond, and I hope for nothing for the best for you in the future.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much to everybody. That last song from Anna Weber is so good. I am ready. Check her out on Anna Weber Music all over Instagram. Check out where she's playing next. Definitely go support local. Also, thank you to KNETX at the top of the show with Extraordinary Life. And then, obviously, thank you so much to Ezekiel Ajeigbe. What a good conversation. What it seems like a super good dude. And like I said in the interview, definitely go check out his Twitter. It is nothing but positivity, and that's what we need more of in the world. So while you're out and about doing all those fun things, every Monday night is trivia night over at Dr. Jekyll's. That is at 7 p.m. And then every Monday is also open mic comedy night over at 1851. Sign up is at 7:40. Show starts at 8. And then every first Tuesday at Blitz Lounge is karaoke nights. That starts at 11 p.m. Enter for a chance to win $200. And then every Tuesday is comedy night over at Mavericks Bar and Grill /225 Barbecue. That starts at 3 p.m. Every Wednesday is Jambo's Barbecue, and it is their UTA Jazz Night, and that is from 5:30 to 7:30. And then also every Wednesday night is trivia night over at Division Brewing. That is from 7 to 9 p.m. Also, don't forget to check our social media every Friday where we give you Find Out Friday. At least 10 things you can do. At least 20 things we like to give you every week to see what is happening in the community and around Arlington. It's usually great bands playing, always something happening. You know, our city never stops. It's always got good stuff happening. So make sure to tag us on the social medias, have fun with it, and then make sure to go out and eat local, drink local, and go rediscover your city. Tag us and send those pictures over to us on Facebook, Arlington Citizen Media, Twitter, ATX Citizen Media. Tag us on Instagram, Arlington Citizen Media, and send those pictures the old-fashioned way. Email arlingtoncitizenmedia@gmail.com. Also go to our website, www.arlingtoncitizenmedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe and give those 5-star reviews of the downtown at Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also hit us on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.